Official credit union.
Are in the zone, the show of the Orlando sports fan. Your host, Brandon Kravitz, here, joined by my co-host and producer. He is Sweet Tea Tyler Karen. Hit us up on the Mills Air text line at 50857, and you will want to familiarize yourself with our talkback line today. You can find that on the iHeartRadio app. In fact, if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, it's right next to the play button. Just tap that microphone icon and fire away with all of your thoughts. You have 30 seconds to get your point across to us. Your prize today is going to be a shot at Magic Celtics tickets for Game 3 at the Kia Center. Official instructions on what topics we are looking for coming up after Tea Time presented by WonderFan. That's at 4:50 today, but we'll start taking your talkbacks right now. And if you leave one even before your instructions, you will still be eligible for the grand prize of Magic Celtics tickets. So just fire away on anything you want to ask us, any hot take that you may have, and we will air those coming up at 5:30 this afternoon, and we'll announce the winner on the air 10 minutes after that. So that's how we're doing it. We got talkbacks. We'll take those, and that gives us your email address, and we will then be able to reach out to you, but we'll also announce it on the air. So if you're listening, you get a proper shout out on the air. You can hear your talkback on our show and our discussion that follows. Your shot at Magic Celtics tickets. Arguably, Tyler, the best prize we've ever had on this show. And that's about as good as it gets when it comes to ticket giveaways.
Yeah, I mean, it very well might be. It's going to be Game 3, Game 1 here at home. It's a Friday night ticket. You couldn't have asked for a better home schedule for the Orlando Magic. Coming back for Game 3 and 4, Friday night lights, a Sunday night contest against the Boston Celtics. I mean, this is probably the best ticket we've ever given away.
Even the way just all of this lined up. Yes, it was on a holiday and Easter Sunday, but being on right there at 3:30, that's that sweet spot on a Sunday for the NBA. The ratings are in. The round one, game one games over the weekend did phenomenal numbers, and the highest rated game of the weekend was Magic Celtics Game 1. I think Paolo and Franz had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, it was a 17% increase from last year, and it was the most watched opening weekend in 25 years. And shout out to the local crew who will be up in Boston tomorrow. You'll catch you can catch their coverage, FanDuel TV as well. Dante, David Steele, Jeff Turner, the crew. So shout out to the local as well.
All right, I'm excited for those guys that they get the local TV feed. We'll be on the radio side. I am going to miss having Jeff Turner in the studio, though.
It's been cool having Coach. It's been a lot of fun. Coach Turner. Yes, I call Jeff Turner Coach.
I didn't know. Is that a thing that I'm unaware of?
When I met Jeff Turner, I was a chunky 12-year-old watching him coach Lake Highland Prep, and he was buddies with my high school basketball coach. So when I first met Jeff Turner, it was not as a player. It was not as the color analyst for the Magic. It was as Coach Turner. And so I still, to this day, call Jeff Turner Coach.
He's one of those people. He played for the team, the initial Orlando Magic teams. He's been on the broadcast team forever. It just feels like he's one of those guys that's always been around. I ran into somebody today at my son's school. His name's Eli, and we started talking about the Magic, and he said it wasn't anything else to do with the team, how they're playing, say hi to Dante. It was tell Jeff Turner I said hello. That's what I got. So, Eli, this is me telling Jeff Turner that you said hi. Every series in the NBA is now done with Game 1. We've got Game 2s, a pair of Game 2s that are under our belts now as NBA fans. And, Tyler, the biggest news of the entire postseason, no, it's not the injury update to Jason Tatum, who is listed as day-to-day, by the way, for Game 2 of Magic Celtics tomorrow night. No. the playoff headphones have been taken out of their case. Last night, Knicks, Pistons finally had a headphone night. For those that are unaware of what this is for me, I reserve this only for the NBA playoffs. I keep it special. I've got noise-canceling Bose headphones that I really only use for travel. That's why I got them, but I don't travel that much anymore because I have a small child. So how do I use these things? NBA playoffs. It makes me feel like I'm in the building. So I take these out. They're, wireless, over the head headphones like I'm wearing right now. If you're watching on video, by the way, streaming video on my Twitter account at Brandon Kravitz. And then I connect it Bluetooth to my TV. It's an incredible experience. You can hear every little squeak, every call. You can hear the fans cheering in the front row. Highly recommend it. But that's when I know I'm really locked in, is when I get the playoff headphones out. Last night was night one of playoff headphones.
That's a great. Everyone has something special for their favorite postseason or for one of your favorite postseason times. March Madness is my special little baby where I lock myself in a room and I will not come out for 12 hours. This is your postseason celebration right here with the playoff headphones.
Exactly that. So we're going to go series by series here and give you an update on how we feel about things. Pistons Knicks. We saw game 2 last night. The Pistons tie it up after almost letting go of the lead again. A 19-6 run for the Knicks in the fourth quarter. Brunson got cooking, but Cade Cunningham and the veteran savvy of Dennis Schroeder, what a pickup that was for this team. That proved to be too much. The Pistons now, when you really look at the totality of these two games, the Pistons have outplayed the Knicks in 6 of 8 quarters. The Knicks were the far better team in the fourth quarter of game 1. They went on a 21-0 little jaunt. And then in game 2, it looked like they were doing the same thing. But the Pistons have now tied up the series. They've stolen home court advantage, and they've been the better team for over 50% of the quarters that have been played. My read going in was I thought the Pistons would win this series, and nothing has deterred me from that opinion. So your initial read on either the game or where we stand with this series.
Detroit's playing with fire a little bit because, to your point, they have been the better team overall, and you head back home with the series at 1-1. But you escaped another meltdown in back-to-back games last night. Outscored 40-21 in the fourth quarter in game 1. Detroit had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes remaining. It was a tie ball game with 1:15 left in the game last night. It's impressive for that young and not super experienced team to find a way to win in that setting at the Garden. I think where the Pistons have gotten such the advantage is exploiting Jalen Brunson on the defensive end. There is no matchup that Jalen Brunson can hide. Detroit, Cade Cunningham in particular, is finding those. Cade wants Jalen to be the primary defender, and if he is not, it's going to say, hey, yep, come over, let me get that screen. Let's get that switch going. Make Jalen Brunson help. Defensively, this Knicks team is a mess, and they have the personnel to be stronger than what they are, but Detroit's done a fantastic job of exploiting the weaknesses, and it's what's given them the edge in the series.
The Knicks do have a couple of elite defenders, but then they have holes like Jalen Brunson. And what Brunson gives you on the offensive end makes it worth it, obviously, to have him out on the floor. But if the Pistons are going to win this series, that'll be a big key right there. Also, the bench, which we know the Knicks just don't have. Tom Thibodeau's barely used one over the course of the season. So fatigue becomes a question with the starters, but also what about when you break the lineup? Because these guys can't play 48 minutes. The Pistons bench outscored the Knicks 35-8 in that game. And that was another big reason why. The Pistons won their first playoff game since 2008. Moving on to the late game last night. Clippers, Nuggets. Kawhi went nuts. 9 out of 10 shooting in the first half. Scored 21 points in the first 2 quarters of this game. Jamal Murray, Norman Powell, they get into it. A couple of texts go flying. AG missed a dunk with the Nuggets down by 1 late in this game. That felt like a backbreaker. Jokic misses a 3 to tie at the end, and poof, the Nuggets go down. This is a series where I picked the Clippers. I thought that the Clippers were the better team most of the day against the Nuggets in game 1. They were clearly better in game 2 because they got the win. This is kind of the same thing for me. It's a road team. It's the road team that split the series, took home court advantage. I thought they were going to win. Nothing has deterred me. I still think this Nuggets team has more question marks than answers. And the Clippers, if Kawhi is healthy and playing like that, this team's going to go to the Western Conference Finals. They are so good. They're so deep. They defend so well. They got a bunch of guys that can shoot. James Harden, we've just all completely forgotten about him. He's been so good this season, and it has rolled over into this series too. So I feel pretty good about the Clippers. I'm not willing to say for either of these, while I feel confident in my selections pre-series, I'm not going to say, well, they're over. I don't feel that confident about them, but I feel good with where I'm at as far as picking the Clippers and the Pistons.
This may be a little too hot. I'll call it over.
You think it's done?
Denver's going to win this series. Oh, you didn't expect that.
No, I did not. Please explain.
So you have first of all, the best 2 games. In game 1, it was the only game that was the only game 1 that wasn't decided by double digits. It was a 2-point victory for Denver in game 1. Then you get that 3-point victory down to the wire last night. This is no doubt the best round 1 series that we currently have with what we have been given, with plenty of game 2 still to come. I think the Clippers might have the worst home court in the playoffs of teams that are left. You have all the shiny bells and whistles of the Intuit Dome, but it's also, for what it's worth, one of the cheaper tickets that you can get in the postseason. Clippers faithful just isn't. Clippers aren't the main show in town.
No, hold on. They have been a really good home team this year.
I won't deny that. And what they're doing with the wall, it's great. These are professional athletes that are bred for it. I think the Clippers are one of the stronger teams at home because the Clippers have been a good team this year. There's a reason why they're the 4th seed in a Western Conference that was super competitive. But Denver is built for this. Denver has won an NBA Finals. I don't know if Denver is as phased at that road environment as what we might expect because of how flashy the new arena is. But look at game 2. That's probably, in the whole talk this morning, is how bad was Jokic, because he missed 4 free throws on the night. He mismanaged the clock and made the wrong play in the game winner. He had 7 turnovers. The guy went for 26, 12, and 10. And I'm convinced that is going to be the worst game that you see from Nikola Jokic. It took that combined with Kawhi Leonard going for 38 in a well-rounded effort for the Clippers to win by 3. I think it's over. I think Denver, it's going to be a close series through and through. I feel pretty confident, and saying it's over might be a little too hot. I still see Denver coming out. And last night in the loss, I was convinced even more of that.
All right. Okay. Listen, Captain Hot Take. You don't have to back off of that. I still believe the Clippers are going to win this series, but that is what we're doing here. We're telling you whether we think these series are over or not across the board. Let's go to Bucks Pacers. The Pacers up 1-0 in that series. Game 2 is tonight. Damian Lillard is back. Are the Bucks done? With Dame back, I don't know how your answer could be yes. I thought going in, this series would go to 7. I think the Bucks have to win tonight if that's going to take place. Of course, they could go home. They could win 2 games there. The Pacers are the slightly better team here. This is why they have home court advantage. That is not fictitious in any way. The Bucks are so Giannis reliant, but I still think these 2 teams are close enough. This series goes to the finish line, and when you get to game 7, anything can happen. So I'm going to say no.
I didn't see any return to competition reconditioning tag for Damian Lillard. That's just not a thing in the postseason.
No,
you're back and you're ready to go.
In fact,
as it should be.
Once you get upgraded to questionable in the playoffs, once I saw that, I was like, fire on the Bucks. He's definitely playing. You don't get upgraded to questionable in the playoffs and then they announce you're out. That is such a regular season thing.
I think it's such a fun thing to watch tonight is how does Damian Lillard being back on the court impact the Bucks? As far as it's hard to drop a guy back into the lineup like that, and the Bucks have been good since Damian Lillard went out. There wasn't this steep drop off. Closing out the season, I believe it was 10-4 in the final 14 games without Damian Lillard.
But if you look at their schedule, it was pretty fraudulent.
Well, look at the Magic schedule down the stretch, and we still were up on our high horse about the Magic closing out the season strong.
I mean, look, you play the games that are in front of you. What I'm saying is fictitious is that this team is better without Damian Lillard on the floor.
Oh no,
that was fictitious.
That I wouldn't say that by any measure, but still, just getting the volume of Damian Lillard back how he is going to look after not playing that intensely for that stretch into a Game 2 playoff game on the road, I think it's going to be interesting to track tonight.
Okay. So are you with me? I say the Bucks are not done.
No, absolutely.
Okay. The Lakers and the T-Wolves are headed into a Game 2 tonight. That one tips up at 10 o'clock. Minnesota won Game 1 by 22. Are the Lakers cooked? Is this series over?
No, not quite. I don't want to say that it's over. When you have Luka and LeBron on the other side in a round 1 series, you can't say it's over after one game. It's too early. Minnesota gets this one tonight. I will confidently puff my chest out and say that it is over.
This one is finito. This one is done. Minnesota is clearly the better team. They're better on both ends of the floor. If their offense is going to play like this, you're going to have Naz Reid, Captain Bucket, off the bench, scoring into the 20s. Anthony Edwards isn't going anywhere. They have no answer for him. And defensively, they're 10 times better than the LA Lakers. Here's one thing. If you are on the Lakers' confidence side, LeBron James, over the course of his career, I remember this being a storyline years ago. Maybe I'm making this up, that LeBron starts series slow, that he feels his way into series.
Maybe.
So I wanted to see what his Game 1 record was over the course of his career. He wins at a rate of 56% in Game 1s over the course of his career. 56%, you're probably thinking, hey, that's above. You're winning the coin flip with 56, but for LeBron and some of the teams that he's been on, 56% is not that good.
A lot of 1-8, 2-7 matchups in there.
Exactly. So I think there is something to this. And when you look at LeBron's stat line, he didn't blow up. I think he has a much better game tonight. If it's so good that it puts the Lakers in a position where they're going to win, then the Lakers are cooked. Take might look foolish by tomorrow. But I think LeBron can score a lot. Minnesota can still match them and win this game. I think the Lakers are done. Rockets and Dubs. The Warriors completely stifle the Rockets' offense in Game 1. It feels like this one's over for Houston if their offense is going to look like that. And we know, Curry, playoff Jimmy, the way that team can defend, it's not like they're going to drop off. I don't think they're going to sweep the Rockets. In fact, I think the Rockets are going to win Game 2. I don't think it matters. I think that series is over.
Yeah, this one, in a way, it felt like one that was over before it even got started. When you see how well that Steph and Jimmy have meshed, two prolific playoff performers, it's too much to overcome for a young, unexperienced Houston team in the month of April and into May.
All right. Cavs, Heat, Thunder, Grizzlies. You want to make any case for those teams?
No, done and done. Neither team gets a game of the Heat and the Grizzlies.
All right, they are cooked. So we do have a couple that we think are still alive. By the way, leaving the Magic and the Celtics out of this, okay? We'll get to Magic Celtics tomorrow. Big Game 2 preview coming up. And I don't want to be put in a situation where I have to say the Magic are cooked. That just brings me no joy.
It's only over after Game 1 if you felt it was over before it got started in this Magic and Celtics series. If you went into it saying the Magic have no shot at winning a game, then you can call it over. But Game 1 shouldn't affect your Game 2 outlook.
Yeah. We already have listeners that think we're bought and paid for. I might as well be a homer. Not over. It's not over, Rock. Don't let winter neglect turn into spring and summer issues for your AC system. Now is not the time of year to mess around. And Mills Air is the company that you can rely on to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape. Increase your energy efficiency with the certified pros over at Mills Air, my go-to source for all of my AC needs. They've been in this market doing great work for the last 32 years. They're the company that I trust for all of my family's AC needs, and I recommend that you check them out as well. Call Leon and the crew, schedule your appointment, and tell them that Brandon Kravitz from In the Zone sent you on by. 407-277-1159 and online at millsair.com.
Now, your chance